right, rocking and rolling. Do this. So what is codependency? Codependency is an illness. Codependency restricts growth, and codependency is a form of control. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Joe Laird, and in this video I will discuss codependency. And if this is your first time, please help me grow my channel by hitting the subscribe button. And if you enjoy the content, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you and thank you. So let me get started by reading this letter from an anonymous source. We grew up in a family where my mother and father constantly fought, argued, cussed, and called each other's names. We thought it was normal. My father was an alcoholic and a sex addict, and my mother, she catered to him. So we followed her lead and overlooked his behaviors. He would come home drunk, stumbling as he made his way to the couch. We didn't care because we were happy to see him, no matter what his state. My mother was controlling. She would do everything for us, and at times she would manipulate us using scare tactics. We all thought that she was a bit overbearing, so we would do whatever it took not to upset her. Both my mother and father would call us awful names, belittle us, make threats, and beat us for asking questions. Over time, we learned to stop asking questions. Regardless of how they treated us, we loved them. And as we became adults, we adopted those behaviors of catering to and mistreating others or allowing them to mistreat us. This is one of many stories of the cycle of codependency. Now, codependency is caused by abusive parenting, which can lead to feelings of shame, low self-esteem, inadequacy, or dependency. Beware, if these behaviors are not treated properly, the child will carry these behaviors into adulthood and negatively impact the next generation, hence generational curses. So what is codependency? Well, let's talk about it. The term codependency first appeared and was defined as a relationship between someone with a substance abuse problem and their partner, family member, or friend who enabled their behavior. The term has since evolved to describe any codependent person from a dysfunctional family. And in psychology, codependency is a theory that attempts to explain an imbalanced relationship where one person enables another person self-destructive behaviors such as addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines it as a psychological condition or relationship in which a person manifesting low self-esteem and a strong desire for approval has an unhealthy attachment to another, often controlling or manipulative person. In other words, codependency is a dysfunctional relationship dynamic in which one person assumes the role of the giver, sacrificing their own needs and well-being for the sake of the other, the taker. Now, this bond usually occurs between parent and child, wife and husband, parent and family members. Another word for codependency is relationship addiction, because people with codependency sometimes form relationships that are one-sided, mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive. Codependency is an emotional condition that affects an individual's ability to have a healthy relationship. So let's talk about it. Where does codependency come from? Well, codependent behaviors is usually learned when the child watches and imitates dysfunctional family members in their environment.
This 2-year-old from Indonesia has developed a very bad habit. Little Rappy gets through 2 packs of cigarettes every day. His mother runs a market stall where he pesters strangers for fags. She says he's been smoking every day for around 2 months. If I don't give him a cigarette, he goes berserk. The pint-sized smoker took up the habit after older boys lit spent cigarette butts for him from the floor. His father, who also smokes, said, "I cannot say no to him when he asks for a cigarette. He likes to smoke while drinking coffee." Tragically, Rappy may be one of the youngest smokers in the world. Indonesia has a growing problem of children taking up the habit. Around 9% of the country's under 18 smoke regularly. But for this 2-year-old, enough is enough. His mom and dad say they're taking him to the doctor to try and kick the habit.
They experience negative behaviors like shaming, name calling, hitting, hollering, denial, fear, and anger. They also experience addictive family members and sometimes sexual abuse. Dysfunctional family members do not acknowledge these behaviors, so they spill over into the children, only to be passed on to the next generation. These behaviors go on for years because they're not addressed or confronted and are considered normal behavior. Dysfunctional, non-nurturing, abusive families create children who learn these behaviors and become codependent adults. And the family sends verbal and non-verbal messages to the children that they're less than people. So they grow up thinking that they're less than people, and they act accordingly. Children who grow up in homes where emotional repression and non-confrontation occur may develop a habit of ignoring problems, leading them to be conditioned to just stay silent whenever they're mistreated and repress their feelings. They grow up feeling ignored, abandoned, or mistreated, and learn that it's not safe to express their emotions, which lead to poor emotional development and dependency. Parents are responsible for teaching children boundaries and problem-solving skills during early childhood. This becomes a problem for parents who have grown up in a dysfunctional home because they cannot teach what they do not know. They fail to teach their children healthy boundaries because they never learned what a healthy boundary consists of. And as a result, children without boundaries become insensitive to the boundaries that they need to protect themselves and others. In addition to that, parents expect their children to just figure out how to deal with real life situations instead of teaching them the proper problem solving techniques. And they are expected to learn proper hygiene, daily grooming, and completing chores independently without their parents' supervision, which leads to the parents doing everything for them or punishing the children when they make poor choices. Parents are also responsible for teaching their children to value and esteem themselves. When parents fail to esteem and value their children, they grow up believing that their esteem should come from outside of them, right? That's known as other esteem. So other esteem is based on external things. So they base their value and esteem on how they look, the clothes that they wear, what kind of job they have, how much money they have, how much money they make rather, how well they perform, and how attractive they are. They develop these issues because their esteem is based on the opinions and behaviors of other people. Now, this source of other esteem is subject to change beyond their control, causing their value and esteem to become fragile and unstable. This is why they feel the need to have the latest designer clothes, purses, bodies, cars, homes, best looking partners, and money, because their esteem comes from outside of them, not from their inner belief system. Their parents have failed them by not teaching them healthy values and self-esteem. Drink a little Lids. All right. How do codependent people behave? Individuals who are codependents have low self-esteem. They neglect to focus on themselves and divert their attention outside to help others. By doing this, it makes them feel better because they saved someone. They mean well, but they're broken individuals who have been that way since childhood due to dysfunctional thinking. They would rather fix someone else than try and fix themselves because fixing themselves is too painful. They seek to care for someone who they believe needs fixing, someone experiencing difficulty.
Oh my gosh.
Hold tight. I hate guns.
And codependent individuals often take on the martyr role and become a superhero to the needy individual. They believe their sole mission is to save others while neglecting themselves. Now, you've heard of the term Captain Saver. Anyway, a wife may cover for her alcoholic or drug addict husband. A mother may make excuses for her son, who she's babied and protected all his life. Or a girlfriend may make excuses for her boyfriend, who has physically and mentally abused her. blaming herself for behaviors. She would say things like, if I wouldn't have argued with him, he wouldn't have hit me or cheated on me. The giver tends to be overly responsible for the taker's obligation, and they make excuses for them. Givers seek to fix or rescue the taker because it makes them feel needed. They just need to feel needed. They focus so much on pleasing others that they neglect their wants and their needs. They have difficulty setting boundaries and neglect asking for help. And they struggle with emotional immaturity, mental health problems, and relationship dependency. According to Dr. Exelberg, codependency is a circular relationship in which one person needs the other person, who in turn needs to be needed. See, the codependent person, known as the giver, feels worthless unless they are needed by and making sacrifices for the enabler, otherwise known as the taker. Now, codependency is a learned behavior that can be passed down from generation to generation. It is a result of growing up in a dysfunctional family system where one or both parents use manipulative behaviors to control their children. These behaviors include shaming, fear, abuse, denial, non-boundaries, and the lack of esteem in the child. And as a result, the children grow up believing that they are not valued, they repress their feelings, and they are less than people whose goal is to cater to their parents or their partner. They're self-sacrificing and rely on other esteem for approval. Codependent behaviors should be taken seriously, and if you feel you have codependent behaviors and you want to change these behaviors, contact a mental health specialist near you. Talking to a professional can help you identify the behaviors that are causing you stress and anxiety and help you begin the process of making changes to reduce or eliminate those behaviors. So be on the lookout for my next video on codependency. And if you enjoyed this video, comment in the section below. Please subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow. Like the channel, give me a thumbs up, and share it with someone you think can benefit from it. Now, you were not created to be controlled by any man or any woman. You are in control of your life, and life is what you make it. So if you don't like how things are going, make the necessary change. And remember, the more you know, the more you grow. God bless you, and have a wonderful life.
Here, let's see. Let's see, like, make it look like a cake. Yeah, it kind of looks like a cake.
Do it.
Yeah, it kind of does. Let's, there we go. Now do it. Do what you're gonna do. There you go. It does look like a cake.
Alright, go and take a picture.
I gotta screenshot it on my computer. This is just a video.
How are you gonna screenshot? Okay.
You can even see the weight part.
Cool.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Maybe I should stand over here. Let me stand over here. Okay, now you could do different poses so I can screenshot it.
Alright, good.